everyone, this is Melissa from Melissa Made, and today I'm going to be sharing a coloring tutorial with you on how to color dark skin. I'm using this adorable image from CC Designs from Marker Pop, and I'm going to be coloring with the Copics in the earth tone family. That's E11, E13, E15, E17, and E18. And that sounds like a lot of markers, and you don't really need all of those, just as long as you have a nice variation from dark to light. Now, as you can see, I've started with my E11, and I'm just kind of brushing in some color on the edges. Now, the reason I like to do this is when you lay a nice foundation of color down, especially your lightest color, then when you go in to blend with your darkest colors, they are much easier to blend together. So I'm just brushing in some E11, and then I'm going to go in with my darkest color, actually. Now, typically I work from light to dark. For this, though, because I'm working on skin, I'm going to start with my next color that's dark, or my darkest color, I should say, which in this case is E18. And the reason I like to do this is because when you're coloring skin with earth tones, oftentimes what can happen is you will get some blotchiness or splotchiness. And especially on Express It paper, because Express It is such fabulous paper that it doesn't absorb your color like other papers. It kind of sits on top, and that's wonderful for blending. But if you lay too much color down, oftentimes what can happen is you can get this gunky kind of splotchy appearance. So here I'm kind of going backwards by starting with my light color and then going right to my dark. Now, after flicking in the E18, I'm going to be flicking in a little bit of E17 just to blend that dark line out. And one thing you can notice is that I'm not going into the white area. I'm staying on that E11 surface so that when I go to blend, I have a color down already. Now, you'll notice that I'm leaving some white space. The reason why I like to leave white space is so that I can have some good contrast in my image once I'm done. Now I'm going in with the E13 and really kind of blending some of those harsh edges out and adding more color. And the last thing I'm going to do here is go in with my E11, work in a circular motion to blend all those colors together. Again, I'm using as little amount of ink as I can, and I'm also getting some nice contrast for this dark skin. Now, one thing you'll notice is that when I'm finished with this E11, I'm going to come back to it later, because as the image starts to dry, you can see that there are some areas that are still not quite blended together. Now here what I'm doing is I took an E15 and then an E17, and I'm kind of going in and darkening up some of the edges that I want to be a little darker, and that's because I like to add a lot of contrast around the edges of the skin. Again, I'm doing that with an E17. I'm not really concerned about the hairline as far as getting into the hair, because her hair is going to be black, and black will cover up that brown. The next thing I'm going to do is add some cheeks, and I'm not going to change this from how I color any other skin. I'm using my R20 and my R22, and I just draw in those circles. The great thing about Copics is you can add lighter colors over darker colors without too much problem, and mostly because they are alcohol-based markers, so what happens is it pushes the color out, that dark color out. And so I've put in some R22, and now I'm just going back in with my R20 and kind of blending those colors together so that she's got some really nice cheeks. Now what I'm doing is I'm going in with my E13 and kind of putting a little bit of a shadow on her nose, and then I'm going to go grab an E15 and add a little bit more of a dark spot. This will really make her little nose pop, and it gives her face a little bit of dimension. Now I'm going to go in with my R20 and add just a little bit of color to her mouth as well. But you can see these colors, the R20 goes over the earth tones quite nicely. Now here, as I'm sitting here looking at this image, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I really need to go over with the E11 again. I can see some blotchiness in her skin. So I'm just going to go back in and work in a circular motion, and again blend those colors together really nice, even right over her cheeks, it doesn't matter. And what you're going to get is a nice, smooth colored image. I hope you've enjoyed today's skin tone tutorial, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.